Okay, so as you can see, we have another box and we're going to do another unboxing. This time we're gonna take a look at Hegemony. Okay. Alright, so we've got two boxes in the wrappers, which is actually quite a good thing, in my opinion. So, with all the plastic shrink out of the way, as you can see, we have two major boxes. The biggest box is Hegemony and the smaller box is the historical events. This was an expansion, which I backed. And this is the main game. So, let's take a look at the real rulebook, which does look good at a first glance. One thing to note I don't like, and I saw that the concepts has the same amount of art, or at least the same amount of white space on the bottom half of the pages. I don't like that. Please just make the whole page more spacious. Why is there a 4-5 centimeters of white space at every page? And the first pages were okay. But this is just way too much clutter. Way too much clutter. It's not that clean. Alright, so we've got Crisis and Control, a mini expansion which was in the stretch goals with its own rulebook. Here we got some worker. These are, I guess, reference sheets. Yeah, the working class, the middle class, the capitalists, and the state. And we've got a general aid.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Sheet. And one thing to note, I really like the look and the feel of these sheets. They're small. They are made of a plasticky kind of cardboard, so yes, they will. They're quite thin, but I do think that they'll bend back into shape pretty easily. So, and there's a nice linen finish to it. I would almost think they were waterproof, but I'm sure they're not. And these are bigger player aids for the different factions in the game. And here we've got the punch out cardboard and I guess the rulebook. Or the main game board, of course, not the rulebook. So I'm just punching a O or a 0 from this one. It's okay, but as you can see it has a crack down the middle. It's not that compressed. It's okay, but it's not the greatest cardboard quality I've ever seen. And these ones are actually thinner than the previous ones, and they do look more compressed. So as you can see, these are some bigger ones. And the working class, I guess. So as you can see here, the main game board, and I don't know what it is, but I must have missed some memo, but the main boards are getting increasingly bigger and bigger, I guess, from games. So as you can see, it doesn't even actually fit on the table on this size, or at least on this side. and just taking it up on the table like this. And as you can see, it's not really flat. So this piece goes up and this piece goes up, and in the crevices it's down. I don't think it'll make that much of a problem when playing the game, but at least when you're playing with cards on it, I hope it'll just sticks to the board. That said, I do like the look and the feel of the game board. So then we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4 double-sided player boards. From what I can see, each of the boards does give a pretty clear view of what you're supposed to do, or at least what kind of strategies there are for your working class or your class that you've picked. And I always like double-sided player boards, so that might also just be me talking. So we've got some wooden meeples. Not going to get them out of the bag. I am going to give you a somewhat short. They look okay, but they're wooden meeples and that's fine. Of that, here we've got some different stacks of cards. Just getting them all out of the box for you right now. So each player should have its own types of cards, his own interest groups. So these are the different interest groups. I'm missing one. Yeah. So these are different decks for the different communities or the different factions. So again, the state, the capitalists, the middle class and the working class. I'm going to open the state. And as you can see here, they do all have a nice linen finish to them. And I did do some homework in this case. There was a general unboxing video from the publisher, or at least someone they've invited to do an unboxing. And I know that some of the cards that you're seeing right now are in different decks. So there are some cards who are in every class, and there are some cards which are class specific. So these cards, I don't know what they are, so let's take a look at them. They pique my interest. Spending low influence when losing, when winning. These are also cards for the capitalists, or at least the state. I don't know why they are mixed in with these cards, but I'll guess we'll find out later on. I'm not really sure what these cards represent. I'll have to get back to you in a later video on that. So what I can tell you is that the artwork is okay. It reminds me a bit of Terraforming Mars. It's not the best quality of artwork I've ever seen. I understand that they've chosen for artwork that represents the text on the card, but it doesn't really resonate with me. It's just like this. It's okay, but yeah, well, what does it really say, you know? It's not that enthusiastic in artwork. So let me open just one more pack of cards. And I've just opened another one without knowing what it is. So let's jump into it together. And if you know things better than me, please leave a comment so we can learn more. And these cards do look very nice in the sense that you can quickly see what you get from the card. And once again, extra cards with text and a simple amount of art. One thing I do really think is funny is they've even been able to get COVID into the game, which was a thing, of course, when the game was published. But I think it's funny that they've actually managed to integrate the whole pandemic into the game. So there are more stacks of cards. These look like buildings. Just one more, please. Just one more. So these are buildings, like I said, and from what I see is that they give money and I think produce or products for different kind of groups and different kind of people. So there's a vested interest for some players to build these buildings, I guess. I'll have to look at it in the rulebook, but this does look pretty good actually. So these are the cards in the main box. Like I said, I've also backed historical events, which is this way smaller book or smaller package with its own rulebook, this big one. And this is the rulebook, so that's pretty clean, I guess. And historical events, from what I thought, is it would integrate into the main game and it would give us it would steer the game a little bit away from things that took place. So here we've got the Bismarck welfare state and the French Revolution, the Industrial Revolution, all kinds of events that happened, World War I, and it all has an effect on the game. So I was really interested in finding out what this really means when you're playing the game. So I thought it was a total integration within the existing main game. I'm not that sure because it has its own mini rulebook, so we'll have to find that out. But we'll have to do that on a later date. One thing I can say is I am really pumped to get this game to the table. You might have watched some other unboxings of us lately, and you might recognize us saying that there is a lot on the table at the moment to play. And we've got another game in the backlog of games we need to play. But this one is definitely high up on my list to play. And because it's asymmetrical, I might try and play it on the first time with just 2 players. So just to get a general feeling, and then maybe export the game to 3 or 4 players. So I'm hoping we will get it on the table very, very soon. And if we do, you can watch it at 1d6. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.